You know, when a business fails, we often picture this big, dramatic explosion. But that's not always how it happens. Sometimes failure is just a quiet fade. Today, we're going to unpack a really powerful story about that exact idea, the hidden and often missed danger of just standing still.
The story starts with a feeling I think we've all had at some point. It's that sense that something has shifted, but you can't quite put your finger on it. It's the moment you look around and realize things are just quiet.
But here's the thing. It's not silent. Total silence would be an alarm bell, right? You'd know something was seriously wrong. No, this is something way more subtle. And because of that, it's a lot more dangerous.
Quieter than it used to be. And that's the very first symptom of a problem that so often goes unnoticed until it's way too late. So, what does this quiet really mean?
Well, we're calling it the sound of standing still. It's the noise a business makes when it looks perfectly fine from the outside, but underneath, the foundations are slowly, quietly starting to weaken.
I mean, if you were to just drive by, you'd think everything was great. The trucks are still coming and going, work is getting done, you'd see all the usual signs of life. To anyone looking in, the company seems perfectly healthy.
But step inside. Talk to the people on the floor. That's where you feel the change. The phone isn't ringing quite as much. The workflow isn't as steady. And the pressure's different. It's not about growth anymore. It's just about keeping things going. It's a tiny shift, but it changes everything.
And that feeling, that shift, it leads to what we're calling a quiet erosion. See, this isn't some big catastrophic event. It's more like a death by 1,000 cuts, a slow, almost invisible decay.
And this right here, this is the heart of the problem. While this company was comfortable with its old screens and its familiar ways of doing things, its competitors were evolving. They were investing in better systems, which gave them better visibility, which of course let them make better decisions much earlier. A gap was forming, and at first, nobody even noticed it.
So who feels that gap first? The customers. It wasn't a mass exodus, not at all. It was a slow drip. A competitor offered slightly better service. A small opportunity was missed. Each one of those was a tiny decision that rerouted business somewhere else, piece by piece. And here's the really crucial part. By the time the company feels the pressure, that gap has already become a huge canyon. And let me tell you, climbing out of that hole is way, way harder than just not falling in. Momentum is a powerful thing, and it works in both directions.
It really makes you stop and think, doesn't it? Standing still doesn't look like failure, not at first. It just looks like normal. But what happens when normal just isn't good enough to compete anymore?
Okay, but it didn't have to be this way. Let's explore an alternative timeline, a what-if for this very same business.
Imagine this, the exact same company, same great people, same market conditions. The only thing that changes is a single proactive decision that was made much, much earlier in the game. This different path is all about what we can call the power of moving first. It's about taking action, not because you're panicked, but because you have foresight. So what did this alternate timeline company do differently? It's actually surprisingly simple. They invested in connecting their systems together. That gave their teams real visibility into what was going on, and crucially, that allowed them to make smart decisions before any crisis could force their hand. You see the difference? It's being proactive versus reactive. They didn't wait for the quiet to settle in or for the calls to slow down. They saw the trends, they understood where the industry was headed, and they acted on it. And that brings us to the ultimate lesson of this entire story. It all comes down to the one thing that separates the companies that thrive from the ones that slowly fade away.
Now, you might think the difference is being the biggest or having the most resources, but it's not about size or scale. The single most important variable is timing.
And here it is. The decisive factor is making the choice to evolve before the market forces you to. It's all about acting from a position of strength, not one of weakness. And this is the line that really sticks with you. It's a powerful reminder that complacency is a silent threat. By the time you notice you've fallen behind, someone else has already taken your place. So we'll end with this question, not just for businesses, but for all of us. In our careers, in our projects, in our own lives, where have things gotten just a little too quiet? Where are we comfortable just standing still while the world around us keeps moving forward?